All right. I am recording just in case someone isn't able to watch tonight. Before we get started, I was just saying to Helen, this topic for tonight is my favorite thing to talk about when it comes to oils and life in general. There are a lot of things as the day progressed. I kept like going to my PowerPoint and adding more and more like, oh, I want to tell them that. Oh, I want to tell them that. And so I just ask a couple things before we get started. Number one, I'm going to introduce myself in a second, but number one, know that this is a culmination of years of exploring this. And so by no means does it mean you have to have all of this retained by the end of the call. My intention is to share things that I enjoy, things that have helped support me. And my hope is that one thing, maybe two things resonate, and from there, a new habit is formed. The other day, I was reading the book Atomic Habits. I don't know if any of you have heard of this book, but it's a great book if you're looking for something in the personal development realm. And in that book, the man talks about atomic habits being a 1% change. And he talks about if a plane is leaving from California with the intention of flying to New York and the plane is changed by 1 degree, rather than ending up in New York, it might end up in, I think he said, North Carolina. And the takeaway from that is we often say, oh, we have to, add 37 new things into our daily routine, and then we fall off, versus just saying we're going to put one new thing into our daily routine, and then use that as an opportunity to grow. Then once you get consistent in that one new routine, then it's called habit stacking. You add something on next. And so my intention is to share with you new habits and take on the mindset of an atomic habit. You can add one new thing. You don't have to do all of it, but I'm going to share a lot of things that I have learned and give you a lot to choose from. So I'm going to share my screen just in case some of you are visual learners and you prefer to see things on a screen. We got that. Feel free as we go through tonight. You can screenshot. This is my stuff, but I don't feel any form of ownership on it. So feel free to take screenshots. This is me. I live in near Syracuse, New York area with my 2 little girls and my husband. And I was introduced to essential oils in the world of doTERRA about 7 years ago. At the time, I was working as a pediatric speech language pathologist and was just finding that I wasn't in alignment with my career for a few different reasons. And then also I felt like I was healthy, but now in hindsight, looking back, I had a slew of health issues: digestive, hormonal, anxiety, skin issues, just a whole list of things. So I was introduced to doTERRA. I started sharing the benefits with the families that I was working with who were having to put their kids on medication at a young age and weren't feeling aligned to that. And it started to really resonate with me. And I'm like, this is more in alignment for me than what I was previously doing. So 2 years later, I shifted and started doing doTERRA full time. And then this past year, decided to become a certified integrative holistic life coach. And what that means for me is it just adds tools to my tool belt. And so I work with individuals on a one-on-one basis through emotional breakthrough coaching, and I love it. I think that when we can master our mindset and we can heal from things of our past, it offers us a life of freedom. So that is a little bit about me. And then with that, I think that essential oils are an amazing asset to our emotions. So I'm going to share tools, I'm going to share oils, I'm going to share habits in general. If you would like, you're welcome to put things in the chat. And also, this is my contact information. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, or email me or text me, feel free. So there's all my stuff. And I kind of mentioned already my intentions, but we're going to go over ways to master your mindset, sleep habits, benefits of essential oils emotionally, effective daily habits, and ways to launch your wellness lifestyle or take it to the next level. I'm also going to share ways that you can clear emotionally and then some additional resources. So the first thing to know when it comes to our emotions is that we're looking at the body in a triangle of the mind, body, and spirit. So oftentimes we disconnect and we only look at one thing. We look at our mind is racing, or we look at how our body is responding, but we don't look at all of it. So this is just an important part to come into this conversation tonight looking at is it all is interrelated. We have, I'm going to share this on the next slide, life circumstances when between the ages of 0 and 30, we're basically creating the roadmap for our emotional response. So things that happen in our childhood are what are forming how we see the world. It's why some people have totally opposite political views than other. We're seeing that in high polarity right now because everyone's life experiences are different. And I feel that when we can come into this and understand people from the perspective of your life circumstances just have allowed you to see the world in a different lens or through the same lens as mine, we can better understand each other. So what's important there is, let's say that when you were a kid, your cat ran away and you were experiencing abandonment. And someone in your life said, would you get over it? It's just a cat. Your body then learned that when it experiences abandonment, it needs to shut it down rather than fully emoting it. It's called fully expressing the feeling of abandonment. So then later in life, maybe your significant other or your partner leaves during a fight. And because your body isn't fully processing abandonment, it triggers that again. And then now you're dealing with feelings of abandonment. So when we can allow our body to fully emote all of the emotions, we don't get into those constant triggers. That's where the freedom comes in. So it's just, again, setting the foundation of how things all work. So that's our mind, our heart, our body connection in that. Now, to take that one step further, there's different parts of our body that are responsible for processing different emotions. So if you have heart issues or small intestine issues, this is something that might be of interest to you. You can look up and see the different emotions that are typically processed in that part of the body. Now, this information comes from Dr. Bradley Nelson. It's called Emotion Code. If you're ever interested, that's a great book you can read. I'm actually trained in emotion code. So this is a way to identify trapped emotions in the body. And it's just like you have an emotion code session, you can identify, okay, this is what's trapped and help to clear that. So I think this is just interesting to see, oh, I have lung issues. Well, I've been dealing with a lot of grief. Oh, you can put that connection together. So all that means, if you're super brand new to this, is think about when you're experiencing stress. This is usually the easiest way that people can kind of put this connection together. When you're experiencing stress, you typically hold it in your shoulders. And so a person that deals with chronic stress often has neck or spine alignment issues or migraines, shoulder issues, something like that, because that part of the body is trapping that emotion. Similarly, if we talk about, people will say like, oh, that nervous pit in my stomach, or my gut doesn't, my gut response. Different emotions are felt. Typically, like anxiety is in the stomach area. And so that is just putting it into a way that you can relate to it. Okay. So different parts of the body store different emotions. Does anybody have questions on that? Feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself if you do. But just interesting to look at that. So if you experience a lot of anger, helping your liver will help with that as well. So emotion code is cool. If you ever get the chance, I would highly suggest having a session done because it's just cool to see. The next thing to think about when it comes to our emotions is what we put in our body. So what comes in is what goes out. If we're giving our body low quality input, we're going to get low quality output. And at the end of tonight's presentation, I'm going to talk about our life being an energetic field and go into this a little bit more. But the basic premise to think about is if you look at your life as this wellness pyramid, eating habits are really the key to health, whether it's stress, sleep, or pain and inflammation. Having strong eating habits matter. So just looking at processed foods, the sugar, corn, whatever it might be, I know for me, when I drink wine, red wine or white wine, the next day, my anxiety is through the roof. I don't know what it is for me, but that is a huge trigger for anxiety. So just kind of, start doing a food journal. I eat white pasta and the next day I have really bad anxiety, or I drink red wine and the next day I'm super anxious. Things to think about. The other thing to think about is having those key vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. All of that is the foundation. And we often need additional support in that. Our food now versus 100 years ago is completely different in the nutrient level. So in the 1950s, if you ate one apple, it would have the same amount of nutrients and vitamins as 100 apples currently. So it's important to be supplementing from a nutrient standpoint. The next thing to identify here, just going into the body before we dive into all the rest, I'm just giving you foundation, is our gut health is our second brain. So if our gut's not happy, our mind's not going to be happy. So really giving intention around your digestive system, again, going back to foods, going back to just pouring into that good bacteria that's in your stomach. And I'm going to share some ideas about that. And then another thing I was just talking about, but to take it one step further, if you're like, yeah, I think there are foods that are triggering me emotionally, pain wise, whatever, you can do an elimination diet. And this just gives you some good indications or good ideas of foods that you can start off with. And this isn't saying eliminate all of these. It's just saying, try. If you want to go full force, eliminate all of them and then slowly weave them back in one by one so you can see what's triggering you. But this gives you, these are typically the foods that are triggering. Okay. So let's just talk about chronic stress on the body. We know long-term stress wreaks a lot of havoc on the body, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I think this is something that's on the forefront right now. We're all experiencing long-term stress with just things that are happening. So this just kind of goes through some things that can happen, and maybe you resonate more with one column over the other. It would kind of be cool to check in for yourself. So if you have a lot of stress, how does it show up for you? Is it difficulty focusing, concentrating, making decisions, remembering things? I remember so for last year, I went through the life coaching program that I went through was a 1,200-hour program, and you had to get coached. So if you're not familiar, a life coach is basically somebody that helps you identify emotional traumas in the past and heal them to be able to support yourself moving forward. And I'm in this program, and in order to learn how to be a coach, you had to be coached. So I was getting coached about 6 or 7 hours a week, which was amazing and super crazy all in one. But one of the things that I described at the time, because I was dealing with a lot of stress, was that I was just on this hamster wheel. Like my mind was just constantly swirling. I could not get a straight thought to come out for the life of me, because that's how my mind was just stuck in this state of drama and stress. So I don't know if that resonates for anyone, but mental acuity can often be something that is impacted by emotions. and stress. The next thing is our emotional state. So maybe it's depression or anxiety, irritability, agitation, lack of motivation, crying easily, emotional strain, fears. Okay. And then physical might be headaches, difficulty sleeping, digestive issues. For me, I used to have IBS, also had anxiety, pretty severe. So just kind of identifying, okay, where is this being stored in my body? I'm going to share with you at the end some other tools that I like to do. One of them is a body scan. And it's literally before I go to bed, I just lay there and I go through every part of my body. I guess you could call it a meditation, but I just go through every part of my body and like intentionally relax each part and identify, am I holding any stress here? Lately, it's been my jaw. I've just been very aware that I'm holding a ton of stress in my jaw and my tongue is like shellacked to the roof of my mouth. So I've just been trying to intentionally release that and then get curious, like, what is that coming from? Why is it right here? So anyways, just some ideas. The other thing that I absolutely love are routine chiropractic adjustments. And again, I'm sharing things that I love. Take it or leave it. This is our chiropractor. His name is, we call him Dr. Pete. And these are my two girls. He is our family chiropractor. We all go weekly. And chiropractic is a way to keep your central nervous system in check. So none of us have back issues. It's just a way to keep our spine in alignment. And if you think about it, your back is what holds up your whole body. And if your back is off, it connects to your organs. So routine chiropractic adjustment might be something else that you add into your wellness routine. And he has this system where you can actually see if your body is in fight or flight, and then the progress that is made through routine adjustments to get your body out of fight or flight. So that's pretty cool just to have like a quantitative measure. All right, so let's talk about different oils. Let's talk about things that you can do. So this is a nice little checklist. If you want to take a screenshot, feel free. But this would be if I were to give you like the easiest protocol to remember, this is what I would suggest. So Microplex, XC Omega, and Alpha CRS, that's doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. I'll talk about that in just a second. Terrazyme and PB Assist are two different supplements to support your digestive health. So we have nutrients, we have digestive health, and then adaptive supplement. I'll talk about this as well, but that's one that is great to take in the morning, and that's going to help with just mind racing, emotional wellness in general. And then Copaiba and Serenity, that you'll notice is more PM. That's going to help with restful night sleep. So those are like bare bones daily protocol that'll help from an emotional perspective. And then you'll see on the bottom other ideas: chiropractic adjustments, regular exercise, reducing toxins and stress in your environment, eating habits. And then I'm going to share with you what Symphony of the South is as well. But that just gives you an easy to pay attention to checklist. So Lifelong Vitality Pack, you probably have heard of it. If you're on Wednesday night calls, you've probably been familiarized with it. But this is a game changer. It's doTERRA's vitamin pack, basically. So there's a whole food vitamin, there's an omega, and then there's Alpha CRS, which I jokingly say, think of that as the can't remember shit pill. CRS. The premise behind it, if you're not yet familiar, when we take a multivitamin, typically it's loaded with synthetics. And the best way that I can describe this is if you're on your computer and your computer signals a warning or a error message, and it's in all those symbols, you know what I'm talking about, when it's like symbol, and you're like, oh, it's saying something, but I don't really know what it's saying. When we put synthetics into our body, whether it's candles, air fresheners, or over-the-counter vitamins that are low quality, it's basically putting something into our body that is an error message like that, or a message like that. I don't want to say error message, a message. Our body is saying, oh, here's something, but I don't exactly know what to do with it. Versus when we're adding in something natural into our body immediately is like, oh, I know what to do with this. I've been using this for thousands of years. I can figure this out. And it's able to use it. So that's the best way that I can describe the difference between over the counter synthetic vitamins and doTERRA's vitamins, because they're whole food vitamins. So it would be like eating 70 bowls of Brussels sprouts. So you're putting it into your body. You're getting those multivitamins and nutrients that your body needs. Omegas, I didn't realize how much those babies are important to our body. So omegas, your brain, if you're dealing with emotional things and you want to support your brain, omegas are great. Hormonal issues, omegas, skin, omegas, cardiovascular, omegas. So just a great way. And that's land and sea versus just fish oil that gives you the fish burps and are gross. This is totally different. There's also great antioxidant oils in the omegas. So that's going to help pull out toxins, which can often cause issues for your emotions as well. And then the can't remember shit pill. So this one pulls out inflammation in the body and helps with regeneration. So it's great for those that are wanting to keep inflammation down in the body. So comes as a 3-pack. I would say if nothing else, this is your atomic habit. Grab the Lifelong Vitality pack. It's awesome. This is the adaptive. So adaptive is, also, I'm not quite sure why that went to that one. I want to talk about PBSs. I want to come back to adaptive, but I want to talk about gut health next. So Lifelong Vitality gives you the foundation, like your nutrients, and then PB Assist and Terrazyme go into gut health. So PB Assist is the good bacteria that your belly needs, and it's dual capsule. So it's going to go through all of your digestive system to give good bacteria. Okay, so PB Assist, you can get this as an add-on. So when you order your Lifelong Vitality, click customize and then get PB Assist and Terrazyme added on. You get it, I think it's half the price when you order them together. So make sure you do that way. But PB Assist, that's your good bacteria. You need that for your immune system, your digestive health, all of that. So another pretty easy atomic habit. And then Terrazyme. We have been out of Terrazyme for a week, and I can't even tell you how much I miss this. Terrazyme is one of those that I take for granted. I've had it in the house for 7 years, and now it's out, and I'm like, jeepers, I love Terrazyme. So how we use it, Terrazyme basically helps your body to break down foods to absorb the nutrients better. So if we're bloated, we take Terrazyme. If we're ate something that we probably shouldn't have, we take Terrazyme. If we drink alcohol, we take Terrazyme. We take it all the time. It just is a great way to help break down foods in the body. It also, if you're dealing with cysts, take it before bed on an empty stomach. It'll help with that. And you can also use it for like ligament repair. So that one is awesome. So Terrazyme, PB Assist, and then Lifelong Vitality Pack are your foundation nutrients, and then your gut health. From an emotional perspective, 2 things that you can add in additionally are adaptive. So this is something that we take in the morning. So adaptive in the morning, and then the other 2 that I'm going to show you in the evening. So adaptive for me is very much about mental acuity, slowing down the racing, swirling in my brain. It has GABA in it, which is a supplement to help with neurotransmitters and helps with relaxation. So think of this one as the brakes of the brain as far as just slowing down all of that racing thought and allowing that focus. It also helps with kind of like your calming and uplifting oil all at once. So it's great for anxiety, also great for boosting the mood. So you're getting both of those. Okay, so adaptive in the morning, and then in the evening, you can take Copaiba and Serenity, just Copaiba, just Serenity, however you want to do this. But Copaiba is great for calming the central nervous system, which is what helps us get into restful night sleep if that nervous system is calm. So, and the Copaiba will stay in your body for 24 hours. So if you're taking it in the evening, it's still going to help with calming the next day. You also get, what I love about essential oils is you get you don't get side effects, you get side benefits. So it's also great for your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system. So you're getting all of that as well. And then Serenity is basically like a sleeping pill in the natural world. It's not a sleeping pill, but that's what you want to think about it as. So it's great to help your body kind of get prepped for going to sleep, whereas Copaiba is more just going to calm it is going to calm your nervous system. Serenity is going to be the one that's like lights out. Yeah, I think that's about it that I want to say with that, but it's just a great addition. You can take them together, helps to sleep. And what's great about it as well is you don't have that grogginess the next day. So these are a couple of other things. This information here is taken from, if you just Google doTERRA ebooks, they have an ebook on emotions and they have an ebook on sleep. And a lot of the information has been gathered from those ebooks in this presentation. And then some of it is my own stuff. But this part right here, if you're like, I want to know more about what that means, go grab the doTERRA sleep ebook and they go through this more. But creating the optimal sleep environment, basically screens off. The more that we're exposed to screens, the more that our mind is stimulated. Coffee, your bedding, what you sleep on. I was told once, and this is something I probably was told this 15 years ago, but you spend the most amount of time on your feet and in your mattress. So make sure they're both high quality and support your body that way. And I've always hung with that. Removing distractions. So maybe it's your phone or something in your room. And then relaxing the body. So getting into a routine before bed with using essential oils, and then get your internal clock set. So again, you can look in those ebooks to read more about that part. All right, so let's go into using essential oils for our mood and for sleep. 3 different ways that you can use your oils for this. So easiest way, put a diffuser by your bed. Aromatic, your olfactory system speaks to the limbic system, cues a brain response. So you're conditioning your brain. Remember in the beginning, I was talking about how when you're a child, these life events are impacted. They impact your thoughts, the way that you see the world. The way to think about this with using oils aromatically is you have these life events and they start out as a dirt road. So when you had your first experience of abandonment, it was a dirt road. Then something else happened and that dirt road goes into a paved road. Then it turns into a 2-way highway, 3-way highway. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, trigger, bam, trigger, bam, trigger, because you now have this grooved highway. When I think of using oils aromatically, I think of that as a detour. So instead of your brain going, boop, I'm going to be triggered by abandonment, it's a detour or a roadblock that says, nope, it's time to find a new road. And it helps support your body to go a different direction with your mood response. So we're going to talk about different oils and what they do for the body, but think of it as that when you're using oils, you're helping to reroute your emotional response. Okay. Topical, you can put the oils on the bottom of your feet. You can put them in like in this crease of your elbow is a great place, your pulse points, your spine. Doesn't really matter, just get the oils on you. And then a technique that you can do is called Symphony of the Cells. And there's a few different ones that are great for emotions in this. So if you are curious to learn more, you can go to symphonyofthecells.com or connect with the person that got you introduced to essential oils, because they can probably teach you how or direct you into the direction of how to learn it. But it's basically a layering technique that puts the cells into symphony. So if you want to target emotions, this is a great way to really focus the cells and kind of do like a treatment. So you would do it every 3 days and it just gets your body into harmony. That's my daughter a few years ago, but we just did it today. She loves her, we call them massages. And now she's getting to the point where she wants to do it back. And I'm like, yes, this is great. I've conditioned you. And then the last way is internal. So you can put them in your water. You can put them under your tongue in your veggie capsule. And that's going to help to calm your nervous system and promote relaxation. These are a few different ideas. This was in the ebook, but I thought it was great to get your brain thinking of new ways. I know I get into my ruts. So putting oils into your yoga or making a spray. I have a recipe at the end you can take for like room sprays or bedtime sprays. I know for kids, we say it's your sleepy time spray. So something like that. You can add them into your bath. You can, I don't know, put them on your hands, diffusers, sprays. So lots of different ways that you can incorporate new routines. This just gives you a dosage if you want application, like, okay, when I'm using them, what should I have? So if you want to screenshot that. A couple of things from safety perspective still apply when it comes to emotions. So if you put oils on and they make your skin uncomfortable, don't wash them with water, use a carrier oil. Once you've put a citrus on, don't go into sunlight. Don't add citruses to plastic. Well, don't add oils to plastic. That's just a general rule, I guess, to keep. Don't put them up your nose or in your ears or in your eyes. And then these are a couple of different resources. So the first two here are great. You can look up all health concerns or the majority of health concerns, and it'll tell you what oils are best suited for those. And then this book is on point for tonight's topic. You can look up every emotion and it will tell you what essential oils would best suit that emotion. So get that book if you haven't yet. And then these other, okay, so if you're not using plastic, you're going to want to use glass and then a carrier oil. Okay, so let's go into how do you identify which oils to use for different emotions that you're experiencing. So this little wheel you can get or screenshot it, and it gives you a better understanding of how you're going to use essential oils for mood. So citrus, think happiness in a bottle. Maybe it's lemon, tangerine, wild orange. It's your sunshine, uplifting. If you're feeling gloom and doom, get some citruses going. Spices, think of spices as they're going to spice up your life. So if you're feeling like you're just lacking that passion or kind of bored, you're going to use spices. Herbs and grass, the way that I think of this is herbs and grass. If you're about to walk through a field that has really tall grass, you're going to clear the grass out of the way so that you can walk. Herbs and grasses are your clearing oils. So if you're really ticked off at your partner or somebody at work, get some herbs and grasses. My favorite are lemongrass and cilantro, just really good clearing oils to help release whatever it is that you're holding on to. And you can put them right in the diffuser with a couple citruses. I like to do cilantro and tangerine or cilantro and wild orange if I'm just super not in a good state. Trees, think of trees as if you're going to put the roots of the trees go down into the ground, think trees as grounding. So if you're feeling like you're just going through a lot of emotions and you need some extra grounding, trees give you that stable support. I didn't indicate this, but this just gives you some ideas here if you haven't caught on to that part. Sorry about that. And then florals. So if you think about a rose and you set something on the inside of the rose, the petals are going to wrap around and provide comfort, safety to what you just put in there. So think florals, comfort, safety, kind of tuck you in. So if you're scared, worrying, fearing, you're going to use a floral. And then the last category is mint. So with mint, think your breath of fresh air. If you apply a mint, it's going to open up any feelings of anxiousness and help you like get that air out, help with finding your voice, communicating whatever it is that you're wanting to say. Okay. The full version of this chart, there's blends that they have that are in between these. So this chart is designed for the emotional aromatherapy oils, which we can definitely talk about if you're interested, but this just kind of gives you the breakdown of different oils that you might already have so that you can use stuff that you already have rather than having to wait until you get new oils in. Okay. Any questions so far? I feel like I'm giving just a lot of stuff. So anybody have questions? Feel free to put it in the chat if you do, or unmute yourself. This gives you what I just said. So if you want to screenshot it so that you have it. I also, if you are on this, you registered and I have your email. So I can take this, turn this PowerPoint into a PDF and send it to you so that you have all of this. Happy to do that as well. So you will get a copy of this. But this just kind of gives you more of a chemistry version of what I just said. So you have that. This gives you some ideas of additional calming oils, more that you can add in to your routine. So if you've tried some and you're like, I want to get some new calming oils to pair around or to add in, this is a list of other ones. So you'll notice on the bottom there's lavender, Roman chamomile, ylang ylang. Those are flowers, and then a little bit of mint, and geranium's a flower, jasmine's a flower. So there's some flowers and then some resins, some mints, but all of these help with calming. And then this gives you a list of some uplifting oils. So if you want to try out some new uplifting oils, here you go. So you'll notice you have some mint, you have some citruses. Okay. Oh, we got a chat. The name of the book for emotions is Emotions and Essential Oils, I think. I think it's pretty not original for the name. I can double check, but I'm pretty sure it's just Emotions and Essential Oils. Okay. This gives you another quick reference on what each oil does emotionally. So you'll have this as well. I'm not going to go through all of this for the sake of time. I want to wrap us up under an hour. So you'll have this. You can just read other properties of these oils. A couple more. These are, in a snapshot, some of the best oils to add into mood and sleep routine. Bergamot, I use a lot. Bergamot is an oil that helps you with self-confidence. So if that's something that you typically struggle with, I would say get some bergamot going. Copaiba is a great one for your nervous system. Remember, that was in the soft gels that I was talking about. It's also in the oil form, so it doesn't matter, but getting that into your body. Clary sage is a phenomenal one for hormones, and as a result, can help a lot with emotions. So if you want to help out your hormones, there's a lot that you can do. We have a hormones class, but clary sage is a good start. And then cedarwood is a really good, we were talking about before, tree, super grounding. So that's another great one for calming as well. These two on the top are my two favorite, Balance and Serenity. You can combine both of those. It's called Liquid Xanax. You put Balance, Serenity, and then Vetiver, which I think is on the next slide, but you can put them in a roller bottle. So if you're putting them in a roller bottle, I would do, I don't know, 10 to 20 drops of each, Balance and Serenity, and then like 10 drops of Vetiver. But you can have that roller bottle on you. You can have a roller in your car, in your purse, in your desk. That'll help tremendously. And then how I like to apply it is on my stomach, if I'm feeling stressed at my stomach, or in my chest, on my chest, if that's where I'm feeling it. So just kind of intuitively where I'm feeling that. But those two are two of my favorites. Frankincense, this is one you can put under your tongue. It's great for cellular health also, but a great one to help out with the brain. And then overall stress and anxiousness. Lavender, that one's a pretty straightforward. I feel like everybody knows about lavender. And then here's a couple others. Petitgreen is basically has very similar chemical constituents to lavender, but it has more of a masculine smell. I think of this as like a combination between jalapenos and fresh cut grass. Kind of the smell of it. So it's a different, Lynette, don't laugh at that. It's what it smells like. It has a little bit of a different, more masculine smell for those that don't like the super feminine lavender smell. And then there is Melissa, Roman chamomile, sandalwood, other ideas. Last group, Serenity's on there twice. I didn't see that it was, I took this from the ebook and I didn't notice that they had it on there. So I'm giving it double screen time. But vetiver is, so something to keep in mind here is some people have polar reversal effect with certain florals, meaning they use lavender thinking it's going to calm them and it actually is a stimulant. If that's the case for you or someone that you know, keep in mind that vetiver is a great oil to use instead. So vetiver is just a really earthy, this one is what we have to use with my daughter because she has that difference. So vetiver, another earthier, but super calming. And that's the one I was saying you can add in with balance and serenity for that ultra calming. And then ylang ylang, this is another comforting oil, helps with healing inner child. So that is a great one. And then adaptive, we talked about adaptive in the supplement. They're different, separate, but both great. And again, uplifting and calming. Okay, couple of different diffuser recipes. If you want these are some nighttime diffuser blends you might want to try out just to see what everybody's body chemistry is different. So see what works best for you, but here's a couple for those. And then here's a few different ideas to make some pillow sprays. So you can combine both of these in a spray bottle. You can grab those spray bottles right off of doTERRA as well. But lavender and cedarwood, vetiver and bergamot, ylang ylang and sandalwood. And, oh, okay. So this next, I have other stuff, but I wanted to wrap up oils and then go into additional tools and things that I like to use for mood. So I'm going to wrap up with oils. And I know those of you that are on tonight already have oils. So just bear with me in case anyone that is listening to the recording is wanting to know how to grab their oils. And then I'm going to share, stay on, because I'm going to go over some other tools that you can use for emotional release work and clearing and have some conversation. But let's just wrap up the oil part. So for those that are watching the recording, a couple of things to know about doTERRA. Their aim is to be extremely education based. And so what they offer is a wholesale opportunity where this can become a lifestyle rather than just getting a few oils and them collecting dust on the shelf. So you can create your own wholesale account. It costs $35, and then you can get any of the oils that you want at wholesale price for a year. After the year, when you choose to renew, it drops down to $25 and you get a free bottle of peppermint. So when you renew, it pretty much is a wash. They also have starter kits, and the starter kits are designed as a way to create a wholesale account for free. So you don't have to pay that $35, and you get an additional savings and discount by getting things bundled. So these are a few of the starter kits that I feel like are a great asset to your home, especially when you're wanting to focus on sleep and mood. Home Essentials Kit, this gives you 15 ml bottles. So there's about 250 drops of the oil in those bottles, but you'll notice there's adaptive that we talked about. Deep Blue is great for pain. It's also a combination of mints. So we were talking about mints as that breath of fresh air. On Guard is great for your immune system, but it also has spices in it. So for that spice up your life, as does Digestin. Breathe is a combination of mints that help with respiratory. Balance, a combination of trees. Copaiba we were talking about. Peppermint is a mint, lavender, floral, lemon, citrus. So that's a great kit. Aroma Essentials, smaller bottles, but you're still getting a lot. You'll notice a lot of these we were just talking about for mood. And then the last one is Healthy Habits Kit. Now, these are just 3 spotlighted kits that I felt like were pertinent to what we're talking about tonight. But if none of those are really resonating, just connect with the person that brought you to this class, because there's other options of different kits. One of the things with this kit that I love so much is you get those key foundations for your healthy habits. So there's the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the probiotic, and the digestive enzyme. And then On Guard for your immune system, Balance and Lavender for mood, as well as frankincense and tangerine. So that one has a great one. All of any order depends on when you're getting started. But right now, when this was recorded live, we're in the month of August for those listening to the recording. And in the month of August 2021, you have access. When your initial order is $150, you get $50 in free doTERRA cash. So that's this month, but each month there's something different for a promo. So make sure you check in with the person that invited you to that. Okay, that's all I have as far as those intro kits. The person, just connect with the person that invited you or gave you this recording, and they will hook you up with how to get started. Your oils come right directly to you after that, and you get your own online account. Once you have your own online account, you have 2 different ways that you can order. You can just go in and do a standard order, or you can order through the Loyalty Rewards program. And that is just a program. It's kind of like your monthly wellness box. You can customize it to what you want, and then you get perks back. So they have free product of the month. When you order a certain amount, they give you a percentage back. So you start with 10% back, and then you can earn up to 30% back. So it's just a frequent flyers program where you can customize what you want for your wellness box each month. But what I wanted to share is, if you haven't seen this yet, they have a mind and mood kit. Basically, you just put it in your Loyalty Rewards order. It's $70, so it's already budgeted for you, and it runs for 3 months. So the first month you get Balance deodorant, Adaptive, and the Adaptive roller. And then the next month it gives you Adaptive, Wild Orange, Lavender Touch, Black Spruce, and Bath Salts. And then the third month it gives you Lavender, Cedarwood. So it basically is like, oh, you want to focus on your mind and your mood? Here, we've already done the work for you of figuring out where a great place to start is within that budget. So the Mind and Mood Monthly Wellness Program is a great place to start if you haven't done so already, and you can do it right through that Loyalty Rewards, and then you get your shipping back in points, and you get your percentage back in points. So that's just a few logistics as far as getting these oils or any of the other oils that we talked about. Now, additional tools. This is where I just wanted to pour in to you and give you other things that I like to do. Doesn't mean that all of these are going to be your favorite thing, but just a few different routines. So I think that journaling and reflecting just offers a lot of insight as to what you're going through emotionally. So one of my favorite things to do if you're working towards a goal, or you're trying to move forward in some direction, is to journal the following. So you write down your goal, and then what are the fears that come up with you around those goals? So maybe you have a goal to get a promotion. Okay, what are all of the fears that you have? I'm not smart enough. I don't know the right people, whatever. Then it becomes, okay, what are the worst case scenarios for each of those fears that are coming up? So I'm not smart enough. Okay, the worst case scenario is you make a fool of yourself at the first meeting. I don't know. Then it becomes, what are my actions to prevent that worst case scenario? So if the worst case scenario is I make a fool of myself because I don't know something, the action could be, these are the things that I need to spend time learning on. I'm going to teach myself so that I'm not playing out this fear mindset. I'm taking action to overcome those fears that I'm playing out. And then, just as we allow our brain to go to worst case scenario, we also want to open it up to the best case scenario. So as you're journaling, also write down the best case scenarios that could happen. So I could get the promotion and completely crush it and know what I'm talking about, and be looked at in a leadership role. So that's just a great journaling prompt, and you can insert in whatever life event is happening to go through that. But just kind of weighing out, what are the worst case scenarios that I'm spiraling over? What do I have control over that I can get into action with instead of being in spiral? And then where can I go for my best case scenario? Okay, so that's just a easy little journaling prompt. Another thing that I love, if you're familiar with Brianne Hovey, she has something called a Soul Truth deck. And I actually have them right here. I was doing them with my daughter earlier today, but they're just daily questions. So it's just little question cards. And there's a stack of them. And so this is just something that I routinely, I'll shuffle the cards and I'll wait till one of them falls out, or if I feel like, oh, I know it already, it's going to be this card. And then I pull it out and I read the question. So for example, the card that just fell out was, how does my body want to move today? And then when we move, we change our state and raise our vibration. This new elevated state becomes a channel for more energy. Are you moving your body daily? Are you passionate about it? Today's soul action, how does your body want to move today? Listen and joyfully do. So it's just things like that where it gives you some opportunity for reflection and gives you a soul action. So those are great to keep you in a strong mindset. And then I mentioned in the beginning, but the body scan is something for me that I will do every evening. And it's just a check-in with my body to give me more of an identification on, okay, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in my stomach right now. What is going on around that? Is there anything that I need to do, conversations that I need to have, action that I need to take? And I grab oils and put them on in that area. So a body scan is a habit that I love. Another resource that you might like is Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. And I wish I brought it over, but it's over on my book stand. And Louise Hay has basically broken down the body and health concerns based on beliefs about ourselves. So, for example, lower back pain is feeling like you have to, I don't remember, I think it's I think lower back pain is fear around finances. So it is broken down into like the area of pain or health issue, the belief that you have about yourself, and then the positive affirmation that you want to tell yourself. So then you can put it on your bathroom mirror or in the car or somewhere, so that you're like basically remapping or rewiring your brain into a different response. So that book is awesome. A couple of others that came up after I did this, my mind was constantly coming up with things that I wanted to share, but just in wrapping up, Janet Lansbury, for those of you that are around kids, or it's meant for kids. I don't think it needs to be for kids, but Janet Lansbury has a book, and I think it's called Parenting Without Shame. And it goes through how to communicate effectively with children. Again, I think it's how to communicate effectively with all people, and just things to keep in mind with how we're talking. And what I love about it is I was given that book when I had my first daughter, and it made me realize a lot of things that we as a society do to shut down emotions. And the more that I adopted her way of thinking, the more that I found how I was talking to myself was also different. So inside of us, there's a little boy or girl that is wanting to hear those same things as what she's talking about saying to other kids. So if we can better understand the concepts, we can change how we talk to ourselves. So Janet Lansbury, Parenting Without Shaming, is another great one. And then Carol Trueman has a book called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And that's a great book for better understanding emotional well-being. And then I talked about Dr. Bradley Nelson. He has the book Emotion Code. And then this is something else that I like to do. So this is the last thing, and I know we're at about an hour, so we're going to keep it under an hour. But this is another tool that you can do. So when you're being triggered by something, whether it is something that someone said at work or something that your your partner said or whatever it is that's coming up. Whenever you're facing an emotional trigger, you want to go back into your timeline. So what I do in this situation is if I'm getting triggered, I'll say, what is it I'm feeling right now? Okay. I've been using this example of abandonment. So what is it that I'm feeling right now? Abandonment. What am I believing about the world? That people leave me. Who did I learn this from? Maybe you had a parent situation where there was a divorce. Okay. Learned it from, let's say, father, stepfather. What did he believe about the world? That life is really hard and you just got to walk away from it. Okay. So I've took on that belief that that's how life is. Is it still serving me? No. What do I want to believe instead? Life doesn't have to be hard or, whatever your new belief is, but you're basically just walking yourself through like, where did I learn this from? And we learn our emotional responses. We also can unlearn our emotional responses. So if it is something that you are wanting to process through, you have the ability to do that. And, maybe that comes with working with someone else, like a coach or a therapist or someone, or just doing some journaling things within yourself. So that is something else that I like to do. And then the last thing that I have found is waking up earlier and listening to some sort of a personal development book every morning, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube or a book on Audible. And I just know for me, when I start my day off with some sort of physical movement or a a book, I just feel like my mindset is much higher. Oh, I forgot I wanted to tell you this. Last thing, I promise. I'll be quick. The last thing that I would say for emotional well-being is this concept where our life is an energetic field. We have emotions that are low vibration and we have emotions that are high vibration. And the goal is to get our body into the highest of vibration it possibly can get into. There are emotions that we feel, such as grief or shame. If you think about when you're in a feeling of grief or shame, it's a super low vibration. You want to crawl into your bed and lay under your covers and never leave. When you're in a high vibration, it's joy, excitement, ecstasy, whatever. You're just in a super high vibration. When we release the things that are low vibration, like shame and grief, and heal that, our body's vibration naturally increases. Similarly, there's tasks within our day to day that are low vibration, high vibration. Think about if you absolutely hate doing the dishes, that's a low vibration. Every time you're doing that, you're low in your energetic field versus, I don't know, whatever your favorite thing might be. When you do that, super high vibration, you're feeling great. So with this is a little activity that you can do. You go through each of the energetic fields. So low activity or low energy activities. Brain dump 3 things that just absolutely drain the life out of you. And then 3 things that are kind of mediocre, 3 things that are high energy. And then you identify with the low energy. Can you delegate it? Can you do it a different way? So for myself, I'll use the same example um, when I did this, the first thing came up was folding socks. Freaking hated matching socks because I was putting them all in a basket until waiting until there was no socks to be found in the house and then matching them. And it was this big to do. So after realizing that that was draining my energy, it went into, okay, why is this such a big deal? It's socks. Why am I like losing my mind over this? And so then it became, how about instead of putting them in this basket and waiting until I absolutely hate life in the laundry category, why not do match the socks every time I am doing laundry? So it's not this huge thing. So, anyways, just see if there's things that you can start to tailor so that it's not such a chore. Maybe it's calling a friend while you're folding laundry and having that be your quiet time, connection. So anyways, so that is there's a lot more that I could say around energetic field, but it just gives you something to think about. So anyways, I know I gave you a lot of different things, but I hope that there was something tonight that inspired you to create a new version of an atomic habit. I'd be happy to chat with you more individually if you have specific questions, but I will go ahead and stop recording. And if you do want to stay on, I will.